Hello nerds, and welcome to Let's Make It Nerdy with Creative Crits, where we show you how to make craft cocktails based off of nerd and geek culture. I'm your mixologist Bree, and today we're going to be making a drink for the Rogue as part of our D&D Classes series. Let's go ahead and get started with the sneak attack. To start, the tools that you're going to need for today are going to be a shaker, your trusty strainer, something to measure with, a couple of spoons, a metal sieve or a flour sifter, and the glass that we're going to be using is going to be a lowball or a rocks glass. So let's hop over to the ingredients. We are going to be making a coffee cocktail. It's actually a riff on a B52 bomber, but classed up a little. So we're gonna start with our coffee liqueur. Gonna need 1.5 ounces of that. And then we're gonna have 3/4 ounce of our dark rum. We're going to have 1/2 ounce of our orange liqueur and another 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. That's gonna make the base of the drink. Now for the garnishes, we have quite a lot going on. So the simplest is some coffee beans, an orange slice, and we are actually gonna be topping this with hand-whipped whipped cream using just heavy whipping cream and some Irish cream liqueur. And then dusting all of that off is going to be some cocoa powder. So let's get started. We're going to have our 1.5 ounces of the coffee liqueur. And then move to the 3/4 ounce of the dark rum. And then the 1/2 ounce of orange liqueur. And lastly, in here, we're going to need our simple syrup and just 1/2 ounce of that as well. Next, we're going to put quite a bit of ice into the shaker. Good seal, and then shake. Now that that's all mixed, let's go ahead and prep the glass. So I'm using a rather large ice cube for this. It's sometimes called a rocks cube. You can get them in any shape. I'm using spheres, and you can get this mold or molds like this at Target, Walmart, pretty much anywhere, and you don't have to break the bank. So we're gonna just strain into our glass. Now let's get to the whipped cream for topping. So first we're going to need to add the Baileys, 1 ounce of Baileys to 5 ounces of heavy whipped cream. And then just whip that together. Now that that's all whipped, we're going to just top off our cocktail with a little bit of the whipped cream, enough to cover it completely and bring it up to volume. Depending on your glass, how much whipped cream you have to put on top is going to vary. Also, while I'm getting this all on the top here, if you are a fan of sweeter whipped creams, you can always add some of the simple syrup into the whipped cream and whip that together. It's just gonna sweeten it up. It won't change the consistency or anything like that. Now that that's all topped off, let's go ahead and dust it with the cocoa. So I have a nice little stencil here. This is our Rogue for our sneak attack. Put that right on top. And of course, if you don't have this, it's fine. Just, powder the cocoa to your heart's content. So part of why I'm using a metal sieve is because if you're used to working with baking cocoa, you will know that it sticks to itself, and so this just kind of helps get a finer dusting over that drink. Almost done. We just gotta put a few of our coffee beans on either side of our little dude. The orange peel garnish. And there you go, the sneak attack. Do you wanna take a taste? Let's do it. I like coffee, but I must say that this is probably one of my favorite drinks, and not just because I love coffee. It does not taste like it has any alcohol in it, and that's what kind of makes it so dangerous. The coffee adds a nice toasty, roasty backbone for all of the other flavors to sit on. Same with the dark rum. If you don't add the rum in there, I'm sure you'll notice, but when it's all playing together really nicely, I think it just takes a back seat and lets everything else shine. The Contreu or the orange liqueur and the simple syrup do a lot to sweeten it up, and then that orange liqueur just adds so much depth of flavor. The coffee flows through the cream, and so it kind of like mellows everything out in a way that makes it quite possibly one of the most dangerous drinks I've ever made. And that's part of why I chose what I did for this drink. When thinking about what speaks Rogue to me, the first thing that came to mind was coffee. The sort of chaotic rush you get after ingesting too much caffeine. But I wanted it to be very, not necessarily sweet, but deceptive. So this drink is made of pretty much nothing but alcohol, but you can't really taste it at all. So I really wanted that to come together in a delicious drink. Plus Rogues are my favorite, and coffee's my favorite. So that's why I went with this. So be careful, because it'll sneak up on you. And thank you so much for tuning in for this drink. If you want to see more, comment below with what class you want to see next, or maybe how your sneak attack turned out if you made this at home. This has been Let's Make It Nerdy with the Creative Crits channel, and I'll see you next time.